Today, we finally do something I've been saying I was going to do for the last year. It's fairly early in the morning. I just got home yesterday, and my sleep pattern's all screwed up. Life of a truck driver. So it's actually about 7:30 right now. It's not too early, really. I've been up since about 4:30, but the sun's coming up a lot later than normal, so we're gonna put the push bar on the Crown Vic and the new radiator support. So that's what's happening today. I've got all the parts. I've had them for a while, and it looks like this is probably going to be the last good week of the year. At least it will be for me here at the house. So gotta head off. Probably going to pick up Red here in a bit, go do some breakfast, and we're going to head back to the house, get this done up. I got the usual 2 lights on, so everything's good. So if you followed the build on this car, you'll notice that there are quite a few things that were undone. The car's fine, but the hood doesn't open right, and there is a few little problems that still haven't been addressed. So here on the 06, so let me show you what we're going to do. So I got the hood popped because it takes time, effort, and tyranny of will. Hood struts. Yeah, we ought to do hood struts. This is okay. I'm gonna have to fix that. All right, my axe for the win. This has been pushed in. We've never been able to get the screws here to line up. We got those to line up, but this is pushed over, and it's never been exactly right. So what we have to do is take the header panel off, gotta take the battery out, and then we're gonna have to unhook the radiator. Well, we'll have to take it out, but we'll just unhook it from this. Well, wait, no, I didn't even hook onto that, so hey, we're good. But this should just pop out. So let me show you the one I got. It's back here. Let's sit right here. So let me get it out. All right, so this came off in 09. It was parted out for that pickup truck. They wanted the chassis for a pickup truck. That's what all these other parts, like all these doors and stuff, came off the same car. I saw the car before it was parted out. Well, I saw pictures of it. It wasn't wrecked, it was just used, and the guys wanted the parts for something more meaningful, I guess. So let's get the header panel off and go from there. The first thing we got to do is take out the battery. The other thing we're going to be doing is putting this push bar on. At least I'm going to try. I have all the pieces for it. I took it off there at the junkyard. I might try to straighten that part out right there, but we'll get to that because the bracket goes underneath the grill, and if you look, this has the cutouts for it, so it's already been cut out for it. So, and then it'll come out right here for the bottom, so we'll stick that on if we can get this straightened out. I just realized it connects to this, so I might have to straighten that out. Oh crap. If you wanted to know what part I don't have in the garage, it's that one. So we'll see if we can straighten that out. If we can get it straightened out, we'll put the push bar on. Okay, so I got the truck backed up because, well, I have a whole garage I can't work in, and I'm not going to use the cutlass as a workbench. So got to take the battery off. We're going to get this prepped up. I have to take the latch out because I'm going to keep the latch in so I don't have to redo the whole wire. And then we should be able to, we'll have to pop the turn signals out, and then after that the whole header panel should come off. I'll have to undo the fenders and separate them, but hopefully that should be about it, and then that should just come right off. So let's get to it. So when we get started, like I said, these are coming off. These will stay. All we have to do is unplug. I'm going to pull, like I said, pull the battery out. We'll have to undo the fenders up here, and then we get them a little loose, undo them to about there, and they should just come out, because I need a space about this big to pop this off. And we get under here, we get this wide, it should just pull right out. But we're going to have to take the horns off and this off, and like I said, undo the lights, and the rest of it should come out. The tools we'll be using today are pawn shop specials. I actually bought this on a whim because they had it for sale, but it's a really nice set. It's a good 3/8 set, and I got it for 30 bucks. I'm a sucker for good cheap tool sets, so let's take it off. Now when you take the turn signals out, mostly you're going to be dealing with 10s and 13s and 8s. But for some reason, the bolt on this turn signal here off to the side, for some reason, it's an 11. And there's a trick I learned to putting it back on. It's a booger if you don't get it, but you're going to need a deep well and someone with very small hands, or you're going to need to figure out how to secure this into the deep well. I prefer to use a paper towel just to jam it in, and I'll show you that trick when we put the thing back together. So let's get this unhooked and then go off to the next one. I got under here and realized this was cracked. The irony of this is I have two complete header panels, and neither of them are white. They're both in the rarest obscure color you can find. I haven't been able to find one white part I needed, which is odd because they're everywhere. And yet for some reason, every part I need is a different color. So, yeah. Let's, we're gonna have to take this front bar off. Are we? Yeah, we're gonna have to take this front bar off. So, let's get this off and keep going. So after about 15-20 minutes of sheer irritation, that is off. This is all unhooked for the most part. I've still got to loosen up the is it? Yeah, I've still got to loosen up the fenders and pull them out, but I'm probably going to take this bumper off here, and this is just 8 bolts. It'll come right off. Actually, I don't even know if it's 8 because, well, I put it on. So once I separate the fenders and pull them out a little bit, this thing will just loosen right up and fall off. So let's get to that, and then we should be in a clear path to take the support out. Okay, so we got the header panel off. Let's show you what we're in for next. This is the hidden damage I was talking about here. I can straighten that, well, maybe not. That's bad. The frame horns are bent on this, so we'll see if we can put the push bar on, but I'm not holding my breath because it goes through these holes here, and I could probably get it through that, but I'm not gonna get it through this unless I straighten it out. But all that aside, now I have to oh, well, that makes sense. I forgot to take this off. That's why that was so tough. So I need to take this off, and then we're going to have to take this bolt out here, and this bolt out here, and don't mind the blood, that's just me. And looks like we got some little bolts back there we're going to have to remove. So, yeah, let's get those out. On top of that, we also have to remove the horns and this, which is for the airbag. That's another reason you undo the battery. So take that out, and yeah, this is taking on a life of its own, so we'll be all right. Okay, so as you see, we popped it out. It is possible to take it out. The problem is you have to get it up over these little things here. I'll show you those here in a minute, but we got it out. Basically, we had to pull the fender out, brace it up on one side, pull the other fender out, brace it up on the other, and kind of just pop it. Red's gonna need stitches, or not. And but we got it loose, and the hardest part was actually taking these off here. It's not hard, it's just a lot of little stuff. So let me show you what we had to undo to get this out, and then we'll fit the new one in. Okay, so let me show you these right here. They were not wanting to give it up. I tried turning them down here, they didn't want to go, and that sucked. I think those feel, oh yeah, they're galvanized in, so they're vulcanized or whatever ized. Yeah, those aren't coming out. So I'm gonna have to, oh that crap, I'm gonna have to get them back around it to get it in. But I had to undo this. See, this is a little loose. And I had to undo the air box, and I had to undo the washer fluid because there's one bolt under it that needs to come out. Also, what gave me a little more flex on this side here is there's a bolt up in here that secures the wheel liner to the fender, and it if you take it out, as dumb as it sounds, it really frees it up quite a bit more. You'll get just enough room to get it out, but it's going to take two of you. I wish I had another fender for the driver's side, because if we did, I'd go ahead and just pop that off while we're at it. Of course, then the hood would have to come off, and then all sorts of chaos would ensue. So let's get that out. We're going to take a look at compare it with the new one, and then we'll look at this front bar to see if I can put the push bar on. So we're going to fit this up. This back bracket here is the one I'm interested in. I'm just going to take this off and lay it up there to see if we can actually make it fit. Funny thing about this bar, when I got to the junkyard, everything was loosened. Just like that, guys came in and didn't have all the right tools. The other thing was, it was really muddy that day, and I guess somebody wasn't willing to lay in the mud, and I was. So I took it out with all the hardware, but this back bracket is what needs to be fit up against the car, and so I'm going to try to fit it, and if I can get it to attach, we'll put the push bar on. But if I can't, I'm really not interested in taking the bumper off, and we'll see. I'll give it a go. So let's get this off and see how she fits. So when you take these off, these are 13s in here, and since I've already had them off and I'm the one that put them on, I already know they're loose. So, because I don't Loctite crap. So, well, basically for this reason, because I knew it'd eventually come off. So this will take another about 3 minutes. We'll get this off, and then we'll check this out. Well, I think we can get it on, but it's not going to be pretty. Let me show you. It fits into the center bolt, even though this is bent. I did straighten it out with my hammer. I can get it in this bolt, I can get it in this bolt, but this side is just so far bent out of shape, there we are, that I can't get that in. But with those two bolts, I can actually have it squared up. So I'll think about that, but I do need to get the rest of the car put together first. That way I can stick that back in and see how it lines up with the bumper on it, so we can run the pieces through the bumper and see if it actually will fit. I'd like to do that once I get the bumper back on and the radiator support in, and then I can put this piece on and see how she fits, and then just kind of go from there. Once we get that in, actually, truthfully, I need to put the header panel on first, and then I can just put everything else around it, and that'll actually be the best way. So take this back off, and we'll start reassembling. Okay, so we got this in. Now all I have to do is remember where everything goes. we had to pull that out a little more. I didn't show that because it was not the proper, and I may have screwed something up that I'm going to have to fix. But we pulled this out enough to slide this all in, so now we've got to start just putting the screws in and get it all put back together. And as we all know, assembly is the opposite of taking apart or something else. So let's get this put together. Okay, so it's been a few minutes. Let me show you where we're at. Got this on, kind of. Now, you might be wanting to wonder why I put this on first before I put that on. Well, this has to go on. You have to put that on with this on because the fenders have to bolt into it and everything is attaching to this. Now, I haven't got anything tight. Like that bolt down there is still loose. That one, I've got it aligned with this one and this one. They fit perfectly. But I've still got to pull the fender in. Now, I made a mistake. If you'll notice, you'll see the ratchet strap. I used the ratchet strap to pull the fender out. That was a bad idea because I tweaked it. Now, I'm looking at it and I push it back in. It's going to go back straight. I got lucky. But I'm going to tell you right now, don't do that. You could really screw up a lot of stuff. So, yeah, I'm already playing hell trying to get it back in. But, truthfully, with the new radiator support in, everything is actually really lining up. So, I'm going to get it all tightened up, get the header panel put in, get all the wiring and stuff in and all the bolts up here, and then we'll work on the push bar and see what we can do with that. Okay, so we've got basically everything done except put this cover on. I've got the bumper on, I've got everything bolted up, everything on the bottom, top, everything. Struts gave out, so I got to get new struts, so the axe is holding it up now. So let me show you some of the key things before we get to trying to put the push bar on. And I'll show you some of the things I had to watch out for. So let me do that. One thing I almost learned the hard way was that when you're putting this on, the radiator support, it affects everything, literally. From the fenders, both fenders, the header panel, and all that. It also affects if your door's open or not. So when you put it on, leave everything loose. You can have it bolted up and loose. And then just walk over here and try your door. And it should open up fine. Mine does. The gaps are a little off, but they've always been a little off. You're going to have to do that on both sides. And since this is a new radiator support, don't go off the holes or the marks in here. Just leave it loose, leave it a little where you can move it. And you're going to have to try both doors for sure. Make sure they both open up. And then once you get it where it needs to be, now don't worry about this. This is something else. We'll have to deal with that. This, like I said, is an accident car. As you saw, I am short these bolts here, but I've got to tighten them up. I haven't done that yet, but everything else is tight. So what I'm going to do now is grab that piece, stick it underneath, and see if we can actually put this on. Now I know we can get the piece itself on, but one of the main things that's going to be the make or break is if we can actually get it through the holes in the front. Now on this, you can see where it used to come through here. In fact, I actually, well, that might fit. We'll have to check. It comes through here at the bottom and through the bottom of the, bumper cover, but it also comes through here. So what we're going to have to do is put this on and then take these top supports here, run them through and make sure they're straight. And then once we get them on, slide the bumper cover over it. And if we have enough clearance and enough room, it won't be any problem to put the bumper cover and the rest of it on. So that's kind of where we're at now. So let me get that on real quick. Like I showed you earlier, I can only get the 2 out of the 3 screws on, so we're gonna have to over tighten them. But they are adjustable, so I'll leave them a little loose, but I'll get them on and I'll feed these brackets through, and then once I get them fed through, we'll see if we can actually get that thing to go on. Okay, so we got the brackets hanging, and they all seem to be where they want to be. I mean, they're fitting real good, but I'm short of bolts. I bought the push bar. Somebody had loosened it all up like they want, like I said, like they wanted to get it out, and they abandoned it. Well, half the hardware was gone, so we've got to make a run up to the hardware store, grab some bolts, and then come back, get it all roughed in, and put the cover on, and then we'll just see where we're at. Looks like it's actually going to work, so let's get to the hardware store. Well, we're here at the True Value. I had to come to the next town over to go find some bolts, so we'll see what the bolt bin has for us, but thankfully these are generic, so I shouldn't have trouble finding them. All sorts of stuff here. Nuts. Clean them out on a couple things, but you got to write down your quantities on your bag, so we got everything we need here. I guess it's time to head back to the house. Okay, so I'm back from the hardware store. I have a bag of nuts, and now let me go ahead and we'll drop these on real quick, get the cover on, and we'll see how it all lines up. Exciting news, we got all the brackets in. Now mind you, they're all still loose. I left them loose so we could bolt up the push bar that's over there, but the only one like I said, I couldn't get in is that one down there. But I'm going to tighten these up. These should tighten up just fine, and I'll tighten all these up, and here in about 3 minutes we should have the push bar mounted. So that's kind of exciting. And just like that, it's on. It real sturdy, bolted right up. The holes in the front end were cut. They must have had this exact same push bar on the front end. Came from a car out of Oklahoma, Johnson County, Oklahoma. This is a former state trooper car, but it's got state trooper parts from everywhere. I don't know where this came from, but it fit perfect. So hey, now all I need to do is put the rest of the bolts in the bottom, put the headlights and turn signals in, put the battery in. She's good to go. Little hint, when you're putting the side marker lights in, you have these 11 millimeters that go, in this way. Take your 11 millimeter and just cram a little piece of paper or some paper towel in there, something like that. It'll give you a little better purchase on it, and you'll be able to get it started. And then once you're done, it just pulls right off and the paper just falls out. So just a little hint, it just makes it a little easier. These are the screws I'm talking about. They have to go right there. So yeah, a little deep well, a little paper, boom, you're good. Use a little driver with a swivel on it and it goes right in. And just like that, she's done. All put together, it's running. Looks really good. I'm really happy. So hey, so the car's all put together. It's came out a lot better than I thought it would, honestly. So what do I have in it? I didn't give it hardly anything for that radiator support. Bought it from I bought it with a batch of parts, maybe $35, $40. I think I gave $40 for the push bar and a whole bunch of other stuff that day too. A lot of these junkyards, when they're scrap yards instead of junkyards, they want all the plastic and stuff out of their yards faster than they want the metal. But stuff like this, they'll be more than happy to get rid of. And so I don't even have 40 bucks in this push bar. So altogether, I got under 100 bucks in this. I got under 75 bucks in this. The only thing that it disappointed was I was going to replace this light, but the replacement light I had ended up had another crack in it. So, but it took me an afternoon, and actually, if I wasn't filming it, it would have taken me, and I'd have to go get. Okay, I had a day today. I had to go see my brother and stuff, but hey, whatever. But if you were to do this non-stop, 2 hours tops. So But so we got this on and finally got this squared away. Had to align the hood, but the hood actually shut really nice. We've still got to do a little bit of finagling with it. But like I said, the only thing you really have to be mindful of when you're putting this together is leave everything loose when you put the header panel and the fenders and all that, and make sure your doors are aligned, because if you get them off one way or another, you're not going to be able to open your doors, or if you try to yank on them without checking them, you're going to end up bending something, and then you're going to have two problems. So that was one of the things that I had to figure out, is just where the center was. That way my gaps are even on both sides. Now the gaps aren't really even because this car was really tacoed. I'm fixing a salvaged car, but I like it. But aside from that, I mean, everything bolted right up, everything worked. So an afternoon, and like I said, this right here, if you already have the stuff cut into it, this power tools would have made this a 15-minute job. So yeah, I mean, so what's next for this car? Well, this car is kind of going through a transformation. I'm taking the wigwags out of it. I'm taking a lot of the fun stuff I did earlier, and then we're gonna kind of just make it into something else here soon. I'm not sure yet, but it's still kind of my daily, so it runs really well. I mean, it runs really well. So I've driven this car all over the country. Aside from that, though, I hope you liked this video. It was a lot of fun to make, and I guess we'll have to see you. So I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next video.